Karina, you have the floor. Hello, everyone. The purpose of my presentation is not to explain you something, but to tell you certain stories. I will tell you several stories, and Vasily will help me. He's 20 years old. He started the university to become a programmer. He lives with his parents. And Vasily has a dream. He's dreaming of an iPhone to make cool videos in TikTok. And Vasily's thinking about the money. My parents will never give me that as a present. And Vasily is aware with his 20 years of age, he needs to work. He goes online, he enters Contact and Headhunter to find something appropriate. And he remembers an ad in his university. There was something about a new pizza restaurant in the city that they need new employees with flexible schedule with 30K salary. Vasily was okay with that. And he called to get the interview, and he conquered HR specialist with his energy and wit. Though he faces certain hardships and difficulties. He needs 2 or 3 weeks of internship, then he needs the medical record book, and he needs to buy new clothes to change. I studied at the university another 2-3 weeks of studies, and then money that I need to spend on this medical record book. I better go to work at a cafe of a friend, Lёша. So, Vasya, he needs to enter Dodo. This is option number 2. Vasya number 2. There is clean kitchen. They take care about their clients, and that's available for Vasily. Vasya starts to work after a while, and they call him Vasya Terminator after the day of pizza, and he buys his desired iPhone. He starts to date pizza maker Yelena. Vasya loves his job because he gets a stable salary and his favorite colleagues. And then he needs to fight against couriers. That's an adventure. And then he needs to make tough till 3 a.m. and then the crazy day of the 8th of March. Still, he becomes head of shift, and there are competitors. And still, Dodo Pizza is a legend in the city, and they clone the recipes. There are competitors, and they need an experienced employee of the company. Of course, the happy guy is Vasya. And he's thinking about offers from the competitors. He realizes that career development is important, that in Dodo, only his boss is better than him, and he cannot take his place. So he decides to forget about the values, and he decides to sell the recipes to the competitors. And boss from Dodo Pizza, he is in a rage. He cannot understand how he can live in the future because some of his team members, they quit him. But he's never disappointed. This boss quality product is more important than cheap pizza, that he can hire new employees and to be back on track. This is what he does, and then Dodo Pizza comes back to a previous performance. And what about these employees? They come to work in a new pizza restaurant, but they are not being paid good salary. They provide the recipes and also the activities for the chicken, but there is no team, there are no values. After 3 months of working there, Vasily is disappointed in food services, and he goes to work to the municipal administration. Vasily, he needs an iPhone. He comes to work to Dodo. Vasily gets to managerial positions. Then the competitors come to Vasya, and he's thinking about their offer. He understands he wants career development, but why not to try that in Dodo? Just to collect all of his will and talk to the boss. This is what he does. And the boss was happy because he was sick of doing the procurement. This is how project delegation was born in pizza restaurant, and Vasya starts to do procurement. He's an important guy in the city, and he's the one to decide whether people will have pizza in Dubna today or not. And then boss is to have a very long travel. He has a dedicated employee, Vasya. He knows how to make procurement, how to do inventory, and he decides to make an administrator out of him. And then they finish the delegation program. All of the managers receive extra skills and extra duties, those who want to develop. Vasily, as an administrator, faced such problems as equipment breaking down, then there were issues with the roof, and then the fridges were off for 2 days. But nevertheless, he continues to love his job, and he has motivation. He's motivated by the salary, and this salary depends on in such indicators as write-offs and productivity. And of course, that would be great to get his incentive, his bonus in a month's time, because Yelena has a birthday coming soon. That would be great to make her a wonderful gift. And how to accomplish that sooner? He starts to think about penalties for write-offs for being late to work, and then the team does not accept that. There are fears, and there's a lot of tension and stress in the team, and this information gets to the boss because there were no penalties in Dodo Pizza before. The boss makes the decision to change the position of Vasily because there was something wrong with his values, and he goes back to the position of linear manager. Unfortunately, he cannot work as a manager because the team does not accept him anymore. Vasily once again is disappointed in food service, and he goes to work in local administration. Once again, Vasily gets to administrator position, and he understands that people are our key value. He cannot penalize them. He understands that without the team, he cannot produce a cool product. And he's very slow and careful with his team members. And he gets to the plant indicators in 6 months, but still the team is happy. In 3 years' time, they open one more pizza restaurant, and he graduates from the university and marries to Yelena. And Yelena has always wanted to work in aviation, and the guys say the young couple has to move to another city. And Vasya thinks, I have huge experience, and I can build a small business of my own. He goes to talk to his boss, and he says, dear boss, I want to develop. Unfortunately, I need to choose a different way in my life. And the boss replies, I don't understand that small business is cool, that you have experience, but it's risky. Maybe you could try yourself as a franchisee. I could help you with investments. I could become your member and help you out. And Vasya understands that there probably are less risks there, and he becomes franchisee of a pizza restaurant. He builds his pizza restaurant. He's talking to administrative officials, and he does what he knows to do. And it's time to hire his team. He places the vacancies in Vkontakte and Headhunter website, and he places the leaflet in the university at the students' board announcement. After a while, he received a call, and he hears a familiar, energetic voice. He tells him, hello, my name is Vasya, and I'm looking for work. What are the values that Vasily will introduce to his team members, and how many people will make their dreams come true? And I believe these are important questions that the managers need to ask themselves. Vasily, so this is the character which is based on my experience. And I had a long way from a legal delivery person to the director of my own pizza restaurant, and I faced many difficulties over the 9 years in food service. And my difficulties were absence of understanding, absence of training, absence of communication with the management. And at work, we felt unprotected. And very often, we understood that if we make one mistake, we would get a penalty and then we will lose a job. After the second mistake, we would be told that if you dislike something, you can go. But I am grateful and thankful for having such experience. Now I know what you can never do. I should not do. And my team now knows everything. And also we know what to do so that people who order our pizza are comfortable. What are the conclusions from my presentation? The first conclusion is that if an employee has a request to develop, please don't be shy, develop them, but only if they have such a request. The second conclusion, if you cannot retain valuable employees or you have constant turnover, maybe it's not about the team, it's about ourselves. We need to develop ourselves. And the third conclusion, if you think that there are no cool employees in your team, believe me, there are vices in each team. It is very important to synchronize with our employees in terms of values because different people join our teams. For somebody, stable salary and work is important, and for somebody, development is more important. And for them, Dodo is a social lift up for them, and we need to hear all of them, to all of these different people. And I hope in your pizza restaurant you will have these vices who will create their own teams one fine day.